emotion. So what? We all gonna have to die because that is the illumination anyway. Death is the ultimate key. So my point is the whole thing with Mumia, hey brother, you know what I'm saying, man? Like Jimi Hendrix say, if I don't see you in this life, I'll see you in the next, and don't be late. Fuck it. Now, let's let it be known so the people don't understand. What I'm about. My goal and what I have been dealing with is researching the inquiry of ending the world. Not necessarily say I'm ending the world, but basically giving directed studies of ending the fucking world, because this is a fucking science. The same science. These crackers study this shit around the clock. Right. So, you see what I'm saying? And we know that this thing has to be initiated by us. So, I ain't about trying to make it better for black people to live on the shit. So you can have a better life out in Buckhead or whatever the deal is. Like just basically have a better life in down Cascade. It ain't about that shit. It's about fulfilling fucking prophecy. Exactly. And we ain't talking about no Sunday go to meeting Baptist church shit either. We're talking about the stuff. We're talking about the inquiry that this crowd is studying around the clock. Right. And that's what this stuff is about. Let's not make no bones about it, because everything else is just about a bunch of masturbation. Right. You see what I'm saying? You see, a bunch of masturbation, you see. But now going on, you have, because we have to deal with these things based on this time that we're dealing with. We got to understand that we are in this particular time, and basically this is what we should live for. You see what I'm saying? If we understand that on the earth plane there ain't going to be nothing, it's basically going to give us no utopia, because we had it for 1 billion years. And we must also research into the and check out the inquiry into another alternative. And that alternative is not necessarily on the physical plane. You see what I'm saying? Plus, this is very important shit. Now, I'm not saying that the other people are wrong. You got people that's dealing with the survival. You got people that's dealing with the diet. You got a consortium of people that's dealing with stuff. And I'm not going to tell you those people are wrong. You shouldn't listen to them. You got to listen to me. Because I know, but my point is we should have also some other shit set aside to say that this is some shit that we're dealing with also. Right. You see what I'm saying? Because nobody else is dealing with it or whatever type of thing. That don't necessarily mean that we can't deal with the shit. Right. Because the white boy is dealing with this shit every day. And been dealing with this for the last 200-300 years. Right. At least since he was taught this shit by the Moors. So therefore, this is just as much a valid science to look into. Not necessarily living the next 1,000 years in harmony, because that would be a tragedy to be stuck down here that long.
And I try to get your take on that, because I feel like that's what we need to be doing. Instead of worrying about mundane things like give us some money and stuff like that, we need to be giving these things some serious instructions. Do this, do that.
At this time, they are living entities. And so they will work for you in something based on an overlook of either something that you tapped into that you write on it or something that you don't see. For example, sometimes you might say, well, get into this or do this, and it might be something personal, and they can see beyond that and go, that's not important. So it has to be something that's important and right in line with what they're trying to do, because you got to realize now they're trying to evolve, So a lot of times they won't do things to line up with something that's very mundane. So sometimes if it's personal, that's what I'm not going to really waste no time, because that's only an illusion. Now, sometimes there might be protection. They'll say, well, I'm going to protect him because he's going to be the one that's going to evolve into this God force, and we're going to need him around so you can get that protection. But as far as these stupid-ass niggas out here, other things that's happening on a mundane level, they go, oh, well, you know, they don't exist no way. And so, therefore, they're not going to lend their energy. And what do they mean by they don't exist? If you look out in space, and you will see, look down on the earth, and you will see these different lights beaming. Those lights beaming will be the ones that are awakened, their consciousness. Either their consciousness evolve into more knowledge, or they are awake, or totally awakened. Everything else down there is dead. So that's considered an illusion. So with the people who are asleep, it's almost like they don't exist at all in the first place. So when we're talking about this thing, we have to talk in context of conscious people, enlightened people, and then we have to go to what's important or not. So you have to analyze what you're going to utilize their help for. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't really have a whole lot of time to waste, especially if they can see past some stuff. You know, like you might want to get some personal revenge on somebody, and they go, well, you know, that shit don't even really exist. It doesn't matter. So therefore, that's how that particular thing works. Now, as far as Illuminati is concerned, and these particular things, the more and more you hear from them, and the more and more their information is revealed, just like in the Angels and Demons movie, and more different things, is because they are weak. And their whole thing is to give you this perception that they're powerful. And they're powerful. And in all honesty, they're not running shit. We're running it. We just don't know it yet. But we're the ones that's in charge. And that's what the key here is for distraction, is to give you the fear, to make you think that they're in charge, and they're not. And you can't go by on how they mess niggas up, because niggas are dead. And as a result, and I ain't even talking about black people, I'm just talking about people, period. The sheeple, that's in any kind of race. Those people are dead, they don't even exist. So whatever happened to them really don't even register on the Richter scale of spirituality, because they were asleep anyway. You see, they sleep anyway. So sometimes we have to measure what we really get emotional about and find out, is this thing worth its salt? So, worth its salt. So, in short, when you call on these deities, and based on how much you receive their help is what's going to be important. Mainly at this particular time, then one of the most important things these deities are going to do is, number one, they're going to assist you. Let's say if you got a health problem, because they need you around for you to illuminate. The second thing they're going to try to do is the army is supposed to work with you to get you to a certain level of spirituality. So, other than asking for mundane things, or other than asking for things that emotionally that might hurt you because some white man done slapped some black woman or something like that, they are more interested in getting you to a certain level of godhood. So they're more interested in working with you for knowledge and information for evolution. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the most important thing. You see, the most important thing. Because most people, even when we're dealing with the fear, we're dealing with it in relationship to some old mundane shit. You see what I'm saying? And that's distraction. You see, so they will work, but it depends on what's important. And you have to elevate your mind to find out what is important. You see what I'm saying? What is important? Things that was important to me starting out in this thing are not, they don't even exist no more. You see what I'm saying? Things that was important to me 10 years ago, you see what I'm saying, is a faint memory. So, yes. This is nothing but an illusion. It's called Maya. It's an illusion. And this illusion is sustained by something that is called glamour. So, glamour is what the glamour is what makes this illusion, it makes this illusion function. So glamour is what the ego taps into, and it taps into, and when the ego taps into this glamour, it makes this illusionary world that we live in possible to live in, based on this glamour. So what it does, it takes something that is nothing, something that is an illusion, and the glamour aspect of that particular illusion, because illusion is called Maya, the glamour aspect of that illusion, what it does, it makes things appealing to the ego that sustains and keeps you locked into this illusion based on glamour. This illusion Because we live in a world, it's the same, the Matrix explained it to you when he said, you've been living in a dream world. Yeah. You've been living in a dream world. Now, what happens here is because there really is no physical world, it's only basically what the brain is telling you it is, but the brain is being activated through glamour. And glamour is any kind of appealing thing that's visual, emotional, and psychological. And as a result, it makes this appear to be real. So what has happened here is, when I went back to South Carolina, I went into a world that actually is not there anymore. What is happening here is the worlds are disappearing. It's just that the glamour is still keeping this thing in an apparent state that really doesn't exist. So what I was feeling the other day with the particular glamour was, in actuality, I had gone into a zone outside of my area of comfort or my area of spiritual, because my whole house and my world is set up spiritually. So when I went back to South Carolina, that world is actually disappearing. And all it was illusionary phenomenon that I was dwelling in for a couple of hours. And as a result, my spirit had to go back down to a dead state just to exist there for a couple of hours. It takes a while for stuff to completely manifest into the physical. But if these towns, these things are disappearing, then what's going to happen, it's going to, like they say, the twinkling of an eye is going to catch up with the spirit, with the physical world, and they say midday one day, this shit is just going to disappear. You see?
Right.
So let me give you some things of what glamour is. And so glamour is, until I get to the crux of what I'm really here for and tell you what it's all turned out to be. You're going to be blown away by this. But glamour, now glamour of physical strength. These are the things with glamour. It's a ray. It's an actual ray. It's a current, and you got to break that current at all. So I'm going to give you understand what this is about. Glamour of physical strength. The glamour of personal magnetism. The glamour of self-centeredness and personal potency. The glamour of one at the center. They just talking about the selfish aspect of people. The glamour of selfish personal ambition. The glamour of rulership and dictation of wide control. The glamour of the Messiah complex in a field of politics. The glamour of selfish destiny of the divine right of kings and personality exacted. So these divine right of kings, my self-destiny. The glamour of destruction, the glamour of isolation and alienation and aloofness, the glamour of imposed will upon others and upon groups. Get out of them groups, because the people, those group leaders are in a state of glamour, that they even got to have you follow them. The glamour of love, the glamour of the love of being loved. I just want to be loved. That's a glamour. I just want to be loved. The glamour of popularity. The glamour of personal wisdom. The glamour of selfish responsibility. The glamour to complete an understanding which negates the right of action. The glamour of self-pity. A basic glamour that is a race. Self-pity is a glamour. The glamour of Messiah complex in the world of religion and the world of need. The glamour of fear based on undue sensitivity. The glamour of self-sacrifice. The glamour of selfishness and unselfishness. Oh, I'm going to give to the people. I'm going to give to the people. My people, that's glamour too. The glamour of self-satisfaction. The glamour of self-service. The glamour of self-service, it's some glamour of war. It just goes on and on and on. And this basically is the basic functions of psychological behavior of the people. And you're creating all of this stuff through the glamour and what you've been programmed. And basically you can go inside and you can create the world that you want, because guess what? The physical world, the world that we think is really not here. It's just being created by an illusion, by glamour.